Hello, welcome to Liz Rocks and Stuff. I'm Liz, and it's time for episode 104 of What's in My Tumbler. We are starting off with Multitudinal. This is the mix of agates and jaspers and quartz and all kinds of different stuff in here. And this is actually out of final polish this week, so we are going to get to see how these turned out. I will say this batch and the glass were fine, but I've been mentioning I've been having trouble with my tumblers for a couple of weeks now. And the Fossick and Rainbow Reboot looked like they had not tumbled very much at all. Now, I know there was one morning I came down and that tumbler wasn't turning. But every other morning it was working. So that shouldn't have affected it that much. But I'm thinking that tumbler either was tumbling far too slowly or was not always turning when I thought it was. So I have since gone back and fixed my tumblers. So going back to this video, I did a quick rinse and then a burnish for a few hours. I had to kind of finagle how I did these burnish because both of my tumblers are kind of not working at this point when I'm filming this. So this is me sorting them all out. It takes a while, so I did speed this up a little bit because it took me over 2 minutes, and I didn't want to have 2 minutes of me just sorting rocks in this video. Anyway, so I have purchased 2 new motors for my tumblers, but I wanted to see if I could try and fix them. Like I said, I'm terrible at maintaining them, so I'm sure it's a maintenance issue. There's virtually no videos on how to replace a motor on these anyway, and I was having some trouble. But anyway, what I ended up doing is, if you haven't ever seen the motor in a tumbler, there's the motor, and then there's a rod that has a fan, and that fan actually drives the belt that turns the tumbler. I just oiled the rod inside the tumbler, so instead of just doing the bearings and the rods that turn the tumbler, I oiled stuff, and it seems to have worked. They are, as of now, working. So that first one was agate. That, I think, is green jasper, and I think that's yellow jasper, but I cannot be sure of either of those. It's just my best guess. Here's some close-ups. So you can see most of them, that amethyst just did not shine at all, and I don't know why. It's kind of a weird one. But a lot of the agates are just mirror shine. These look so good. So happy with almost everything in this batch. I knew those green ones weren't going to shine up, though, from the beginning. I said that when I poured them in there, that one was not going to shine up. But anyway, moving on to the glass. This is a combination of... Fossick said it's cathedral glass. To me, it looks like stained glass, like from the bottom of a glass kiln or something. I don't know. But it's giant chunks of colored glass. And then I also broke a bowl that had some texture on it to see how that turned out. So this is also in stage 4. So I'm going to do a burnish on it and see how that turned out. But so anyway, going back to my tumblers. My tumblers seem to be working now. I turned them off overnight so they cooled down, opened them both up. The motor would run plugged in when it wasn't connected to the belt. So when there's no resistance, it would run. But the other one would not. So after oiling one of them, it just like took off and was like, yes. So that was working. The other one, I needed to kind of oil it, and I needed to tension the belt a little bit. So those are things that I probably should start doing when I turn my tumblers off over the Christmas New Year break. I should just go ahead before I turn them on, perform some maintenance to make sure that they are staying in tip-top shape. That's like a once-a-year thing. And monthly, you need to be oiling the bearings in it anyway, which I'm very bad about. But perform your maintenance on your tumblers. It will save you some headaches. But anyway, so now I'm going to sort out the glass. So most of this is the colored glass that I purchased. There are a few pieces of the bowl that I broke. And what I'm actually going to do, there's a piece of the clear glass that I tried to get it on camera, but it's hard to see. If you look at the still images, you can kind of see it. There's like a rainbow sheen, but it's not like on the outside. It's like inside the glass. it's kind of, I can't explain it, but it's really, really, it's like an oil slick inside the glass. It's really pretty. So I'm going to pull this back and show you that piece. Kind of has to be like, you get a little glimmer of it here and there, but that's really cool. So this is one of the pieces of the bowl that had the texture on it. And I'm going to pull out a piece that's gone through stage. Honestly, I don't remember if I did stage 1 or 2 with these, but that's the frosted look and then the fully tumbled look. So I'm curious what you guys have a preference for, if you like the frosted that still has more of the color in the lines or not, and or if you like the fully polished clear where there's less color, but you can kind of see the color, the rainbow one there. But yeah, so that is the glass. I'm very happy with how that turned out. And now we're going to talk about the Fossick 3 subscription box. This is a variety of jasper, leopard skin, serape, and Moroccan striped, I believe. And I'm probably saying serape wrong, but this is one of the ones that it just looked like the grit hadn't been fully used up. Now I'm going to go ahead and push this forward into stage 3. But I'm kind of going to be a little bit cautious that the tumbler not working properly may have affected how these turn out. Now, if they don't turn out, all I'm going to do is send them back to stage 2 anyway. I can fix whatever if it doesn't work, but I'd rather just kind of push them through and not waste time here if I don't have to. So, these we're in stage 2, going into stage 3, so I did a quick inspection, make sure nothing is chipped or broken, and then also going to do a quick soap cycle on these, trying to settle. I didn't remember filling it up that much, but that was what was already in the barrel, so clearly I did at some point. Anyway, I also remembered that I have a tile saw, which I've never used, but I'm going to attempt to cut some of the rocks I got from Rough Stone. If you didn't see that unboxing video, you should go see it. I got some cool stuff. And I'm going to try and use my tile saw. I'm not going to video it because I think it's going to be hard enough me figuring out how to use the tile saw without having to try and video it as well. But that is kind of my plan for one of my next batches, is going to be that. I also need to retumble my obsidian that was broken. But I spent so much time tumbling obsidian, I'm kind of not wanting to pick that up right this second. But I want to have my obsidian shiny, kind of that dichotomy there. Anyway, this is 1 scoop of borax, 1 tablespoon borax, 3 tablespoons of stage 3 grit, and then this is going to go on the tumbler. I didn't have my dry erase marker outside with me, so I wrote it on the lid later that's stage 3. And now Rainbow Reboot. This is the rainbow quartz that did not, you can see how in the bottom really quick there how much was left. That is not typical. That is not how my barrels usually look. So that was kind of my clue that the tumbler wasn't quite working properly over the past week. I think it was just turning too slow. I don't think it was necessarily fully stopping, because in my experience, when it stops, it doesn't start back up on its own. And I only had to personally restart it once. And that was like after 1 day. So I don't know. It is what it is, but they are happily working and much quieter now too. So that's nice. But anyway, so this is me doing a very long sort, because there's a lot of very small pieces in here. And some of the green stuff has tumbled before and some of it hasn't. So I'm having to sort of sort through that and figure out what needs more time and what is good to go. And so that's happy fun times here. I am going to let you enjoy the sounds of sorting rocks and come back in a minute or two. And now that that's done, I'm going to put those off to the side. And then these are the last of the rocks that at least went through one round of stage 1 previously, but weren't ready for stage 2 yet. That's the last of the rough of the green quartzite. And we're going to fill that up. Tablespoon of borax, 3 tablespoons of stage 1 grit, and that is all ready to go for another week. My plan is to get all this into stage 2 ready stuff and then just start tumbling it in batches from there and see how that goes. And now I have 2 empty barrels. So what am I going to do? I already told you what I'm going to do on one of them, I think. That top one is going to be the last of the glass that I've already started. So this is going to be, the last of the glass that I had. So I could not for the life of me remember if I tumbled these in stage 2 or if I tumbled them in stage 1. But anyway, the bottom barrel, these are rocks I found in my backyard. I have no idea what they are. Probably quartz. That's pretty much what we have in my area. That's my guess. But I'm using some aquarium gravel for cushioning and variety because those rocks are all really big. I have a feeling they might not tumble so great. If they don't, then I'll just cut them on my tile saw or break them with a hammer. But either way, I decided to go ahead and do the glass in stage 2. I figured if I hadn't already done it, if I have already done it, another week's not going to hurt it. And if I hadn't, I needed to do it anyway. So started those in stage 2. The backyard rocks are in stage 1. So we are going to unstick the washer from that lid and then belatedly realize that the other washer is stuck under the other lid. Downside of storing my washers like that. And then get these going. So I'm not going to get too creative with the names here. I think the top one is still just called glass. I really kind of need to clean these lids really well. But yeah, so the top one is glass in stage 2, and the bottom I'm just calling my backyard, and that is in stage 1. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I hope to hear you back. Let me know what you prefer as far as the glass goes, if you like the more frosted look or if you like it fully polished and clear. And I hope to see you back next week.